Guys, we are 24 hours away from the Nintendo Switch 2 presentation, and I am personally so excited. What's going on, everybody? It's Master Luke. Today, I want to sit down with you guys because there is so much to go over before this presentation drops in the morning. It is going to be an hour-long Nintendo Direct all about Nintendo Switch 2 and its upcoming games. And not only that, is the next 2 days going to be followed by multi-hour live streams of Nintendo Treehouse where they're going to be going in-depth on said games. So, as a Nintendo fan, we are going to be eating like crazy this week. I'm so excited. But I wanted to sit down and make a video with you guys before we get to it because I want to go over my personal hopes for Nintendo Switch, what I think we're going to get and what I hope to get. So starting off, I'll go through what I think is definitely going to be shown tomorrow. Let's get it out of the way. Mario Kart 9, Mario Kart X, whatever you want to call it. That is going to be shown because that is going to be their big system seller at launch. I think it's going to be Mario Kart. It's going to have the new 24-player feature, maybe some new items, new tracks, some redesigns. I don't think it's going to be that mind-blowing because I think it's still going to be Mario Kart at its core. It's definitely a lock. I don't see any big surprise there. So I'm not going to spend too much time on it. That being said, we will be seeing a brand new 3D Mario. I know a lot of people want it to be Galaxy 3, Sunshine 2. They want it to be a sequel. However, I don't really think that's going to be the case. I think it's going to be a brand new Mario game because the only time we've ever had a sequel is really Mario Galaxy 2. And a lot of that was just because they couldn't fit all the ideas that they wanted in Mario Galaxy 1 in, so they had to make a separate game for it. And other than that, there really hasn't been a sequel Mario game like that. Every new console has had its new thing. 64 had 64, obviously. GameCube had Sunshine. Wii had Galaxy 1 and 2. Wii U had 3D World. And Switch had Odyssey. So I don't think it's going to be Odyssey 2. I don't think it's going to be a sequel. I think it's going to be a brand new Mario game with a brand new gimmick. I don't think Cappy is coming back, unfortunately, but that is what we're going to see. I also don't think it's going to be a launch game. I think it's going to be more towards the holiday, towards the end of the year. I think we'll see it, but it won't be available at launch. What I do think will be available at launch is a Mario Maker 3. Now, that is something that has been heavily rumored since we have the whole mouse control. I think it's a perfect game to use that. In addition, you could use the stylus or actual like gamepad or the tablet when you pulled the Switch out of the dock. However, I think the mouse would be really nice for people who want to play on TV. And we obviously hadn't had Mario Maker in a while. And I think with the addition of like a Wonder theme, they could make Mario Maker 3 look really cool. So that's what I think is going to be the big heavy hitter for the mouse control. I know some people suggested like Mario Paint. I think Mario Paint is a little outdated. I think there could maybe be a Mario Paint mode in addition to Mario Maker, just have it like as a side pack-in thing. But I don't think they would really do all in on something like Mario Paint. But there is definitely going to be something that shows off the new mouse controls for the Switch 2. Beyond that, they'll obviously have like some kind of, I won't say pack-in game because they don't really do pack-in games anymore, but something that launches alongside the system that kind of shows off everything that it can do. It was Wii Sports with the Wii. It was Nintendo Land with the Wii U. It was 1-2 Switch, even though I hate that game, with the Switch 1. I think there will be something like that. Personally, I hope it's something more like Wii Sports because I was kind of burned with Nintendo Switch Sports. It kind of sucked, in my opinion. And I think they could do a lot better if they went back to the more Wii Sports, granted, Wii Sports Resort style of gameplay. And maybe add some modes that you can use the mouse in there. I don't know. Something like that. Who knows? Maybe it'll be a Nintendo Land 2 sequel. We'll have to see. But something like that will also be shown tomorrow. I feel like that is a for sure thing. I don't know. Some people have suggested that it could be WarioWare. I feel like we just kind of got WarioWare on Switch pretty recently with the motion controls. I could see that, but I also feel like they might save that for later down the life of the system. I don't know that would be a launch game or necessarily even like a year one game that we would see. Something else I think that we'll definitely see is Prime 4 again. We just saw it at last week's Switch 1 Direct, and it looked great. I love Prime 4, but there's been a lot of rumors that they've been holding out on something big that they haven't been showing because they're saving it for Switch 2 specifically. It's why we haven't gotten a release date for Prime 4 yet, and why we haven't seen very much of the game. I mean, we've only had the 2 trailers. They've just announced the whole psychic abilities for Samus. I think there's a little bit more. Personally, I think that could be a multiplayer mode. I think it's been a long time since we've had one, like in Metroid Prime Hunters. And with the heavily rumored voice chat that they're trying to push with the Switch 2, I could definitely see a multiplayer mode for Metroid Prime 4. And I think it could be done pretty well, to be honest. I mean, it's not like they've never tried to do multiplayer with Metroid before. They had it on the GameCube with Echoes. They had it on the DS with Hunters. And even though people hate it, myself included, they had it on Blast Ball, that weird Rocket League kind of something. I don't know. I never touched it very much, but there was that as well for Federation Force. But anyways, so I do think we're going to see Metroid Prime 4. Maybe they'll show us the mouse controls playing on Switch 2 with Metroid Prime 4. Or maybe it'll be as simple as showing, hey, this is what it looks like on Switch 1. Here it is running in 4K on Switch 2. So I definitely think we'll see it tomorrow. I don't think that was all that we were going to see at last week's Switch 1 Direct. So I definitely think we're still going to see Metroid Prime 4. Beyond that, there's been heavy rumors for a lot of third-party games. The big three right now being Final Fantasy VII Remake, Rebirth, potentially down the line, but remake for sure. Halo Master Chief Collection, and Elden Ring with all the DLC. I do believe with the rumors of how powerful the Switch 2 is going to be, I think all 3 of those, they could get running on Switch 2. I really do. Beyond that, I could see more fighting games like Street Fighter 6 and Tekken 8. However, I would only want that on Switch 2 if they have good internet this time, and that requires a pretty big overhaul, in my opinion, for Nintendo. But would I like to see those games? Absolutely. I'd love to see more fighters on Switch 2, but they need the internet to go with it. They can't stay on the same servers that they have been, and there has been rumors that they've been working on their online structure. Obviously, like I said, they're pushing the big voice chat, or that's what's rumored to be, but I guess we'll see tomorrow. So those are my big picks for third-party games that I would love to come to Switch 2. Another one I've heard rumor about is Monster Hunter Wilds. That I feel like is not going to happen. As much as I love Monster Hunter and it's a personal fan favorite game of mine, I don't think that they have that running on Switch 2, and I don't really expect them to either. That game has definitely had some issues with its PC version, and so I think if they do, it'll be well down the line before they can get that game running on Switch 2. But we'll see. The last thing that I think is a for sure lock on Nintendo Switch is new IP. They've done it with Splatoon with Wii U. They've done it with ARMS on Switch, even though ARMS kind of died. I think there's going to be a new IP for sure shown off, something that none of us have ever seen before. And we'll have to see what it is. What kind of genre it's going to be, what style of game, I have no idea. But I think there will definitely be a new IP shown off. The only thing I could think that it might be associated with is that playtest that we had last year. So does it have anything to do with that? Was that just testing new servers for online and fighting games? I don't know. But that happened last year. I'd love to see what came of all that, but we'll have to see tomorrow. So that is my list of things that I think we'll definitely see. Now, on to the fun stuff. Things I personally want to see. And I'll say this might be a little stretch, but I honestly think a lot of these could be really good picks. So we'll have to take a look. But my first and biggest wish is an F-Zero game. in recent years, Nintendo has been pushing F-Zero like crazy. With F-Zero 99, they've constantly updated that game, which I love to see. I love F-Zero personally. We've been seeing it on Nintendo Music. We've been seeing it pushed through their other apps. They have F-Zero on the mind. They know about it. It's been, X, with the expansion pack stuff, was coming to NSO. There's definitely somebody at Nintendo that remembers F-Zero. They know about it. And my personal hope is that there's a brand new F-Zero game. Don't bring the old ones back. We already have X on NSO. And as much as I love GX on GameCube, I think they could bring a brand new F-Zero game and really blow us out of the water with it. That being said, it is another racer. And so it's going to go up against Mario Kart 9 or whatever you want to call it. So there is a chance that there isn't because of that, and I could see it being pushed down the road. But like I said, it's a personal fan favorite of mine. I would love to see a new F-Zero game. On to number 2, Donkey Kong. Specifically a 3D Donkey Kong. I think it's time. We've had a lot of 2D Donkey Kong games. Dear God, Nintendo of America tweets about Donkey Kong Country Returns like there's no tomorrow. Every 5 minutes, there's a new post about it. So, and if you guys think about it, there's been a lot of stuff about Donkey Kong recently. Like, there's been a ton of stuff. They had the opening at Nintendo World of Donkey Kong Country. So the theme park is there. There's a ton of new merch. They redesigned Donkey Kong for the Mario movie. They obviously have like his new model in Mario Kart 9. There's a lot of stuff been going on about Donkey Kong. It just feels like I've been seeing him a ton, which is a good thing because I love Donkey Kong and I have sorely missed him. Because as much as I love Country Returns and Tropical Freeze, I've been playing those games for a long time, since the Wii. So I'm ready for a new Donkey Kong game, a new one, and specifically 3D, because I'm a big sucker for 3D platformers. Little known fact, my very first video game of all time was actually Donkey Kong 64. So I love that game. I know a lot of people don't like the Collectathon, but I personally have a soft spot in my heart for that game, and I would love to see a 3D Donkey Kong game come back and bring back K. Rool. I want him to bring back K. Rool, please. He needs to be there. So I'd love to see a Donkey Kong game. Another one I think could be really big is Luigi's Mansion 4. I know we got Luigi's Mansion 2 HD, Dark Moon, whatever, recently, but I think we could get a Luigi's Mansion 4. I didn't put it on the for sure list because that is a little more stretch to me, but I think it'd be cool. I always like Luigi's Mansion. It's fun, and it shows off the new system graphically pretty well each time. Like, I remember Luigi's Mansion 3 being one of the prettiest games I can think of on Switch 1. So I'd love to have the series back. What would they do with it? Bring back Luigi? I don't know. Another skyscraper? I have no idea where they would set it this time. Multiple houses? I actually prefer the single house myself, but I think it's a series that needs to return, and we just haven't had a new entry in a while. So it might get its chances hurt because we just got 2 remade, but maybe not. Sometimes they do that in anticipation of a new title to get people thinking about it again. Like Donkey Kong Country Returns. Bring back Donkey Kong. So, moving on. Next game I'm thinking about, Star Fox. There's been a long time that we haven't had Star Fox, right? And I think it's definitely, we need to shake things up with the series. Star Fox, to me, is a really good game, but it needs to be expanded from what it originally was. And Zero was not it. Personally, I hate Star Fox Zero. It is my least favorite Star Fox game in the entire series. And that sucks because it looks pretty good on Wii U. But it is not fun to play, in my opinion. And what I think would benefit Star Fox a lot would be Kid Icarus style of gameplay. And what I mean by that is have the gameplay like Kid Icarus did. Have chapters, have a rail section where you're in the R-Wing for the first half of the chapter, and then have a ground section where you get to swap through different weapons, and there's funny banter. There's one story. Now, granted, could you work in like a branching path somewhere in there? Maybe, right? So it doesn't have to be one-to-one. But that style of setup, I think, would fit perfectly. I mean, the banter between the Kid Icarus characters would fit perfectly with Star Fox characters. Think about it. Them constantly talking with each other. They could write a really good story for that, in my opinion. But I think we need to see a new Star Fox game, and I think it needs to be totally revamped from when we last saw it. I don't want them just constantly trying to remake Star Fox 64. It's a great game, but it's done. We need to make something new with this series. And speaking of Star Fox and Kid Icarus style, the new Sakurai game. We know he's working on something. Personally, I hope it's not Smash. I love Smash. One of the greatest series of all time, but I hope that he's doing something else. We've seen him do Smash for so long. I like to see what his talents can do in other games, especially like how he did with Kid Icarus. Now, whether that's bringing back another old IP that needs revamping or doing a sequel to Kid Icarus Uprising, I want to see what Sakurai is working on. Hopefully we'll see it tomorrow. But if not, I'm excited to see when we do. I'm not holding my breath for Air Ride 2, but I do think we could see a Kid Icarus sequel. I think that's a little more likely. But moving on. After that, there was the heavily rumored Genealogy: The Holy War Fire Emblem. I feel like if that's been rumored for a while. So if we don't see it at this direct, I almost feel like the rumors were fake. Or if we see a new Fire Emblem. Either way, I would love to see it. I'm not going to hold my breath for it either, because I don't really feel like they launch systems with Fire Emblem games. But then again, Three Houses did really good. Engage did pretty good. So maybe they've come around with Fire Emblem. So we'll see. If we do, either way, if we get a remake of 4 or we get a brand new one, I'm going to be happy either way. I'd love to see Fire Emblem. Bring it on. And then lastly, my last game that I personally want to see, a new Kirby game. And a new Kirby game like Forgotten Land, so that like 3D style. I don't want remakes. I love Robobot. It was heavily rumored for this last direct that we were going to get Kirby Planet Robot. A lot of people seem to think that we're getting that. And I love Robobot. It's my second favorite Kirby game of all time after Superstar. Robobot is fantastic. However, I'd rather have a new Kirby game. And I'd rather them expand the 3D style because I think it was a good start with Forgotten Land, but there's a lot more that they could do. They did heavily limit what the copy abilities, like the move set was for those because it was in 3D. And I think given some more time, they could really expand on that. So I would love to see a new Kirby game and hopefully not a remake, but that's just me. Now, things I don't think we're going to see at tomorrow's presentation. I don't think we're going to get to see a new Zelda. Flat out. No new Zelda. Will we get a remake of an older Zelda game? Maybe. That might happen. But as far as a new Zelda game, no. They're going to save that. Personally, I wanted it to be Twilight Princess or Majora's Mask if they brought one back, but that's just me. I know a lot of people have been talking about Animal Crossing. Also, don't think it's going to happen. I think that Animal Crossing typically comes at the mid of a console's life cycle. They have people that buy it at launch, then sales start to dip, and then they bring in a bunch of people with Animal Crossing. And I think they save that on purpose to get people reinterested in their system partway through its lifetime. So I don't think we're going to get an Animal Crossing at launch. Maybe a spin-off, something like that. But a full-fledged Animal Crossing title, I don't think we're going to get. Another game, Pikmin. I love Pikmin. I really do. Pikmin 4 was great. I love every game in the series. However, I don't think we're going to see it. I think it's too soon. I want to say Pikmin 3 came out pretty close to the Wii U launch to show off graphically what it could look like. And Pikmin 3 looks phenomenal, don't get me wrong. But I don't believe that was a true launch game. I think that came out like a year or so after the Wii U. So I think we're getting a Pikmin 5. I just don't think that it will be tomorrow that we will see it. I'd love to be wrong, but I don't think it's going to happen. And As far as Dragon Quest 12, I know that's another game I've been looking forward to for a long time. Don't think we're going to see it tomorrow. I don't think it's going to happen. They just showed off Dragon Quest 1 and 2 remake at the last week's Direct. So I think that's what they're going to focus on right now. I think once that game is done, then we're going to move on to Dragon Quest 12. But for right now, I think they're just going to focus on 1 and 2. And I don't think we're going to see 12, even though me and a lot of other fans have been waiting for that for a long time. And then finally, I don't think we're going to see a Xenoblade project or a Monolith project. Xenoblade X just came out. It's actually the most recent Nintendo Switch game to come out. And I just think they need a little bit more time to breathe between that and introducing a brand new game. X just came out, so I think they're still going to be pushing that a little bit. I think Monolith is working on something. Don't get me wrong. I think they're always going to be working on something, but I don't believe that it's going to be a Xeno game in that line. And we definitely won't see it tomorrow. Personally, I don't think we will. Would I like to see all those games? Yes. I just wanted to tell you what I don't think is going to be there, and feel free to clown on me after this video is out and we see all of them. So, yeah, so that's kind of the games that I want to see, or I think is going to happen tomorrow. As far as some features for the Switch 2 that I would like, my biggest thing that I want to come back is Street Pass. I love that on the 3DS. I love seeing the little green notification because it tells me that there's Nintendo fans nearby, and I don't know, that just gets me excited every time. It's a portable system. I love the mini games. Bring back Street Pass. It was so much fun. Street Pass. I think the other big thing that obviously we've talked about, online support. Push online. It's the biggest thing that holds Nintendo back. It's not their IPs. It's the online and multiplayer support. Push that. Push voice chat. Get some dedicated servers. It's going to make it a hell of a lot better. Besides that, custom themes. We had them on the 3DS. They were fantastic. In addition to the themes, though, I think that we could also have Nintendo Music work with the themes. Because they always had music play with the themes, but this way you could select your own music. So have some kind of Nintendo Music integration as well. I think it makes sense. I think it's crazy that it's not on Switch 1 already, but yeah. So Nintendo Music for Switch 2, along with themes for Switch 2. An achievement system would be great. I love achievements. Bring them to Nintendo. Like, completionists love achievement systems, or hate them. I mean, but I think they're fun. And then finally, my big wish for the Switch 2 is an eShop overhaul. God, that thing chugs. It's so bad. It's so bad. There's so much slop on the eShop. I really want them to vet more what gets put on the front page and what gets shown to people for the eShop. So that's kind of like my biggest hopes and dreams for the Switch 2. If you have any more ideas, leave them in the comments. But we're going to know in less than 24 hours what we're going to get. So stay tuned. I'm going to be live streaming it in the morning. There's going to be so much to go over, so I can't wait to see it with all you guys. Afterwards, I'm sure there's going to be press releases, so we're going to be looking at that on Nintendo's website. There's obviously going to be the Treehouse the next few days. There's going to be other things that are going to be shown off in person because they're going to have the live events after that. So there's a ton of stuff. So make sure to subscribe. We're going to be covering a ton of Nintendo Switch 2 content. I can't wait to see it all, and I hope you guys are super excited. I can't wait to take the next step in my gaming journey, in the channel journey for Switch 2. Thank you guys for supporting me, and we'll see you in the next one. Take care, guys. Bye.